Rum.
Good morning, gamers, and welcome to Dad's Meme Show. I hope you guys are enjoying the daily vlog. You guys aren't staying up with the vlog. I am filming every day, the month of December. So far, I've had a lot of trouble with my 350Z. I had a really fun time teaching my sister how to parallel park. Also, before we get started, I've never done this before, ever. Any hats that we have left in 5.3 supply, today only, buy one, get one free. Don't miss it. It's an extremely good deal. And remember, 10% of the proceeds from these sales go towards helping people get counseling to deal with their anxiety and mental health issues. So you're helping somebody by helping yourself and getting clothes that fit and feel good. Now today, I actually have a list because it's so much stuff. I sat for like an hour this morning, couldn't remember what it was. Let me look at the list. Oh, that hurt my head. It's interesting. I'm not the type of person to talk about money, like flex, but it is interesting to see how much somebody spends on their car to build it the way that you see it. I saw the BS for Build does it, and I was like, you know, that seems like an interesting thing to do. And I'm sure a lot of you guys want to know, like, what does it take to build an Evo 10 to look like Evan Shanks, or an Evo 8 to look like Dustin, or RX-7 to look like TJ's. I am not going to include the price I paid for the car initially, just so that you guys can just get a base knowledge of how much I have spent in purely just in parts. Plus, I think if I added the cash that I spent for the car on top of what it's a big number. And that's not even like it's like a wow, oh my God thing. It is expensive to make a 4-cylinder cool and fast. Here we go. Open up the parts Bible. First, I'm gonna start off with the engine. All right, first, big turbo. It's a Comp 6262 ball bearing. It's not what you're gonna find on their site. They did have to make it for me. It was $1,500. I am not, by the way, including how much I got discounted from sponsors, because it's too hard for me to remember what was sponsored, how much I paid for partial sponsorship stuff. So everything is just gonna be retail value, so just take that with a grain of salt. $1,500. So I've got Deatschwerks fuel system. I've got their injectors and their fuel pump. That equals about $800. MAPerformance. I got their entire custom fabricated bottom mount manifold kit. They had the manifold, the intake, the downpipe, the wastegate, all sorts of crazy things. That was a $3,000 for like the Tech 3 kit or whatever they call it, and then another $2,600 for like the intercooler and a bunch of stuff. So that equated to about $5,600, which again is pretty close. I'm pretty sure that's actually what I paid. That's not even, I don't even think that's retail. I think that's actually what I paid. Clutch, $500 for the clutch. And the one time that I did pay somebody to do something on my car was for them to install the clutch. As capable as I am not changing an Evo X clutch. I'll do it in a rear-wheel drive car all day long, not in that car. I've also got a catch can. The catch can is the nicest one you can get on the market. I believe that one is $300, might be more, but there's a bunch of stuff in here that's probably not entirely accurate, that it's just a big number anyways, doesn't matter. Tunes. I've spent about $800 in tunes alone. That includes like fuel, like different things I had to pay for them to do at the shop and this and that. So about $800 to do in just tunes. And so with all of that, that's just the engine and to make the car go fast, I have spent $10,300 on the motor itself. That might seem like a lot, but that is literally nothing. And it's not even done. I still need to do cams, I'm gonna do pistons, rods, sleeves, crank, like I'm gonna stroke the motor, do a 2-3 probably, like it's gonna be a fast car, track car, grip car, all the thing cars, car. That's the number for the motor. And it's just the beginning. Next, we're gonna go to the exterior of the car. This is probably the coolest part for most of you. It's also a shamefully expensive part. To start, the Chargespeed 20mm over fenders, wide body, whatever you want to call it. It's freaking wide body, makes the body wider. It was about $1,200 shipped. The dip job. I have had this car dipped twice. Thankfully, Get Dip Services is a big sponsor for us. It's about $1,500. It varies on the car. They are relatively inexpensive and do a great job, so about $1,500 for that. Wheels. I usually don't include shipping, but it's very expensive to ship wheels. To me, if you were to get these wheels and you lived by me, it would be about $3,800 shipped. These are GMR RS-1s. They are forged 3-piece. Really, you think that's expensive, but like if you look at other forged wheels that are the exact same quality, you can spend 2, 3, 4 times more than that to get the same wheel. So, tires. This is something you have to consider as well. I have gone through like 3, 4 sets of tires on this car already. This is not my most expensive set that I've had, but they are about $600, these little Sumitomos. For a 300 tread wear tire, they are amazing. They're 285 3018s. They're grippy and fat and big boys, and they give us a nice mean stance. Rotors and brakes. Adams rotors, they're about $550 shipped, depending on the design that you get. Brake pads is about 130 bucks. I like to use EBCs because they are like the grippiest, nastiest, dirtiest, best gripping pads I've used for street use. Coilovers, $1,100. That's a pretty standard thing. Like you're gonna drop about a G into just lowering your car if you wanna do it the right way. You could bag it and spend 4 to 6 grand, but nah. Spacers, yeah, I'm gonna include stuff like that. These are really good spacers. I can't remember what brand they are, but they were $300. I run them on the rear, not on the front. I run a 5 on the front because the offset is just close enough to the brake where it makes me uncomfortable. It doesn't rub it, but I do run those spacers. Custom exhaust. It was not expensive at all. It's about $400 to go to the place that I went to. I do really, really want a Tomei exhaust, but that's another grand that I just don't have to spend right now. And it's left exit, so it's like one of the only Evo X's with just a left exit. Headlights. Now, I talked to Chris about this, the guy who built the headlights. He said that if he ever had to build the headlights again, he would charge somebody $2,000. Now, I'm not going to say that they're $2,000 because somebody's gonna have a problem with that, but I will say $1,500 because with these headlights, the programmable demon eyes, with all the custom work, like I nitpicked everything about these and they're one of one, I'll say $1,500. The VLAN taillights, my favorite, by far probably the second best thing done to the rear of this car. They were $250. I got those through JDM Buyer. He actually imported some from Japan for me. And the one thing that's near and dear to my heart is the APR wing. We got that from Supa Garage. If you guys don't know about them, make sure you watch the wing video. I talked about them a lot. That wing costs on average about $1,500. It's a very expensive wing, but APR does good work and they're not a huge company. Not like my Origin Labs wing on my Lexus. It's not like mass produced. They're very specific and they engineer their wings very well. Vortex generators, $20. You guys saw that video. I literally bought them off of Amazon or eBay or something, 20 bucks. Super easy. Nobody at me has ever been like, oh, those look bunk. Everybody's like, oh, those are tight. I like your vortex generators. And I always say thank you. Spent 20 bucks on them. I'd rather flex that than cash. There's stuff like hardware on the car. I put like 180 bucks just to give it a nice even number from the last one. So, total spent on the exterior of the car, $13,030. It's expensive to make cars look cool, dude. It's ridiculous. Last part, but not least, some of you guys like this. I obviously don't pay much attention to this part because this is the smallest part of the list. Interior. I do have the carbon fiber wheel and the quick release for the Evo, but I actually used it on the Lexus, so that was $300, but I guess I won't use that. The Momo wheel that Victoria got me for my birthday for my Miata that I still use in this car, still my favorite steering wheel that I have to date. It's the best. Plus it's a sentimental thing. Plus the NRG quick release and the short hub was a little over $400. I said $400, it was definitely more than that, but again, it's just gonna end up being a big number anyways. Shift knob, it's something like 50 to 100 bucks. I'll say 100 bucks because I don't know. My gauge pod is a cheap one. It's like 30 bucks. You just get it off of like eBay or Amazon. I made it fit and it looks great. Nobody's ever said anything about it negatively. AEM gauges, probably the most expensive part of my interior aside from the steering wheel. It's about $400 for the set of those two. Maybe a little bit more depending. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's definitely more. And then you have like floor mats, 100 bucks, and then some other little things here and there. So total spend on interior, $1,330. It adds up quick. Oh, here's the big bad part that I really didn't want to see when I wrote this down this morning. Total spend on engine, $10,300. Still not anywhere near finished. Total spend on exterior, $13,030. Total spend on interior, $1,330. So that brings us to a nice, really brutal total of $24,660. Yikes. And keep in mind, All of that, aside from that one charge that I put in there, all of that was installed myself. So if you don't install things yourselves, and if you bring it to a shop, add another 10, 15,000 onto that. Body work for a wide body, very expensive. Installing a big turbo kit, 3 to 4 grand, if not way more. Installing the clutch, I did include that. Installing the wing, installing the taillights, installing the, wheels, like all that kind of stuff, it gets really expensive. So it could potentially be 35 grand if I didn't do that all myself, but thankfully it's not. That is an honest video. Oh, wait. Oh, damn it. The way I see this is if I were in high school or even early college and I had a car that I watched online that I really, really liked, I would have absolutely loved if the owner would have made a video just breaking down the cost of like what it takes. It is a lot, and I always sort of knew that until I really got into it. And what's crazy is like, that's just one car. I don't want to do a breakdown of my Lexus. You guys don't want to see that. This is the first car that I've owned that I've really just gone send with, and I've done my best. I have taken my time. I've owned this car for like 8 or 9 months now, so it's been a very progressive thing, but it's insane. So be careful, and if you take anything from today, know the cars are very expensive, and you should definitely learn how to install things by yourself. And it makes for great content on YouTube. Unless it's a 350Z that constantly just does not work. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Bye.